and a scepter. Now, well, yeah, they're wrong. We don't need them right now. So, we're going to be going through here a series of multiple choice questions about the life and times of Princess Julie. But there are some rules to this group participation exercise. Are y'all all ready to participate? Yes. Every time Her Majesty's name, Princess Julie, is mentioned, she will acknowledge that with the royal wave. And her minions will acknowledge this in one of three ways. You may do a bow back. You may, if you are not one of her fans, you may do the nose. Or you may simply raise your glass in a toast. All fair with that? Okay, we're going to try this. All hail Princess Julie!
Hey!
All right, there we go. After each question, Princess Julie is going to have the opportunity to acknowledge, defend, or expand upon the answer. After all questions have been completed, the common masses will be given the opportunity to regale Her Highness and the assembled throngs with their own memories and reflections. This will make there be no misunderstanding. This will be a no-holds-barred roast, and truth is optional. Are we ready to begin? Okay. Vanna, where are you?
Vanna.
All right.
Don't lose your notes.
More importantly, where's my beard? Back there. Okay. Our first question. Little Princess Julie made her mortal debut onto the world stage in which state? In other words, where was she born? Come on, man. Do it. Oh, sorry. Next one.
In a hospital.
Was she born in the state of Michigan, the state of Colorado, the state of New Hampshire, the state of Punjab, India, or the state of eternal bliss?
Michigan.
Michigan.
We
Hey!
hear Michigan. What else we got? Colorado? No? That's correct. The correct answer is the state of Michigan. Detroit, to be exact.
Woohoo!
Princess Julie. Was born in the Motor City on July 24th, 19-something. We won't say the year exactly, other than to know that the Lions haven't had a winning season since then.
Could have been any year.
Perhaps. After a couple of years, Princess Julie took her family and departed the colds of Michigan and resettled in Colorado. In which of the following Colorado communities did Princess Julie grow up? Was it Leadville, Pueblo, Inglewood, Grand Junction, a different ski town every season, or grow up? She never did grow up. We're going to take multiple answers on that one.
I like that one.
Okay. I can't follow a page. Okay.
Inglewood.
That's correct. Princess Julie graced the city of Inglewood with her presence for the remainder of her juvenile years. This is largely due to the fact that Inglewood had its own juvenile detention center. And by the terms of her probation, she was not permitted to leave the city jurisdiction. Once paroled, it was time for little Julie to head to college. What illustrious school did she attend? Was it St. Gertrude's School for Wayward Women? Was it Yale because she wanted to follow in Gifford Pinchot's footsteps? Oh. Was it Colorado State University because the apron strings only reach so far?
Good point.
Was it the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis because the brochures mentioned something about a bunch of seamen?
Sailor.
Or did it change each year based on Time Magazine's listings of the best party schools in the nation?
No, that was Pam Schnur.
It's unclear whether she attended the #1 school on the list each year or whether the school got top ranking because Julie attended. What is it? CSU! Hey! Yes, that's correct. Julie spent how many years at CSU?
4.
4. 4 years at CSU. Hey. We all know she ended up being a wildlife biologist. But what was her first major?
Party.
Go ahead. Was it A, accounting, acquiring skills she would later put to use laundering money from grants, partners, and end-of-the-year funds?
I am good at that.
To pay for some habitat improvement project no one knew anything about. Was it B, psychology, perfecting the ability to charm friends and critics alike using Jedi mind tricks? Was it C, keg stands, a talent that Julie will demonstrate in a couple hours?
That's my first cake that I've ever bought.
That's not the first one you ever drank.
No.
Yeah. The rest was donated. D, was it veterinary science? She changed to wildlife management after discovering she had a desire to eat the animals she was studying. Better to eat a sage grouse than an Irish setter. Or E, was it horticulture, which she gave up after coming to the conclusion that Colorado would never have any market for home-based hydroponic greenhouses or indoor heat lamps.
I think I'm going to go back to school.
So what is it? What did... Oh, wait a second. There's F. Yeah, there's Sam. Sam's something. She can't remember his last name, but she remembers his arms. What did Julie study at CSU?
Horticulture.
Sam. Yeah.
No, it was veterinary science.
I thought about it. I didn't get very
Do
far.
you want to expand upon that at all? No? Okay.
It's too hard.
Okay, so that's correct. Yes, Princess Julie. Yay! Initially planned on studying veterinary science, but later changed her major to wildlife management, despite being advised that she'd never be able to get a job in that field.
That's true.
But this was the late 70s, and Princess Julie's... Yay! Princess Julie's woman's roar was heard. She worked as a seasonal out of the Eagle Ranger District and then landed a co-op position on what Forest Service unit? Was it
Accounting.
A? Was it the Wrangell Ranger District in Tongass, on the Tongass National Forest in Alaska? A great place working with big bears and killer whales and being reminded that you're not the top of the food chain. Was it the Douglas Ranger District on the Coronado, where you got to play with jaguars, ocelots, quadrumundi, and border bandits? Was it the Greenbrier Ranger District on the Monongahela in West Virginia, where you got to play with hillbillies? How about the Los Angeles River Ranger District on the Angeles National Forest in California, where you got to play with gangbangers? Or was it the Rifle Ranger District on the White River National Forest in Colorado? That's correct. Yeah, it's played with bighorns, waterfowl, fish, kind of boring stuff. Yep, Princess Julie. Do you need a refill, Princess? We
No,
can take
I'm
an
fine.
intermission.
I'm fine.
You sure? Where'd my beer go? Thank you, Vanna. That's right, Princess Julie conducted her student cooperative education opportunity in Rifle. It must have done a pretty good job because they still wanted her around after she graduated. She was converted to a permanent employee while working as a comma. While working as a wildlife biologist in the Rifle Ranger District in 1980. Which of the following types of work did Princess Julie not do during her stint at Rifle? Did she do wildland firefighting?
Yes.
Did she do bighorn sheep habitat improvement?
Yes.
Was she riding and packing in the backcountry?
Yes.
Was she a sawyer?
Yes.
Probably.
Or was it none of the above, she was just a slacker?
I was a sawyer once, okay?
Yeah.
That's all it took.
It was very unsafe.
For those around you.
Okay. So now, remember how I just said that Julie had been hired as a permanent employee? Well, as we just experienced this week, sometimes permanent has an odd meaning to our friends in Washington, D.C. Princess Julie
Yay!
first discovered this in 1983 when, along with several hundred ologists across the country, she found herself being listed as a surplus employee. So what did Princess Julie? What did she do for the next several years? Did she deliver the mail for the U.S. Postal Service? Did she operate excavators and earth movers for the expansion of the Grand Junction Airport? Was she a fly fishing and river rafting guide? Was she a landscaper for the Botanical Gardens? Or did she work in the adult entertainment industry?
I don't need that one.
Our hero!
Caitlin, you're driving home.
That's right, Princess Julie spent the next 5 years never letting snow, rain, heat, nor gloom, nor night stay here from her appointed rounds. But nice sunny days were optional.
No, I always...
Her daily 8-mile walking route put her in the best physical condition of her life. Unfortunately, she's still haunted by bad dreams of Sears Christmas catalogs.
You're right.
I've heard the stories. Okay, moving on. In 1988, Princess Julie had the opportunity to come back to the Forest Service. Oh yeah, Princess Julie. Yeah, her. Returning to the Rifle Ranger District, where she served as the zone wildlife biologist for 4 ranger districts, supervising 4 other biologists. Some of her more notable accomplishments during this period include
Not
taking 13 years to renovate 2 battlement reservoirs.
It was actually longer than that.
Using Forest Service money to illegally purchase a water right in order to create a waterfall wetland on BLM lands.
She's still answering questions on that one. She can't comment on that one yet.
Not going to jail for doing things like B. Or D, all of the above. Any comebacks on that one?
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reservoirs in me. I know. Well, that's a long story. It's a long story. Very long story.
I know how long I got education.
You know, you've had a real long career. I wish you had more damn long. Let's get lose my voice.
Oh, poor guy.
Okay. While working in Rifle, Princess Julie. Come on, guys, you're getting kind of weak here. I'm the one who's getting tired already. There we go. Princess Julie was commuting from her home in Grand Junction. In an effort to reduce the drive time and create a more stable home life for her kids, she opted to work as an enterprise team biologist based out of Grand Junction. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Close enough.
All right. In participate in several unique and long-lasting wildlife projects, including the SBB REP, which stands for the Spruce Bark Beetle Reproduction Enhancement Plan. It works very well, by the way. It's like the Colorado Lynx. You worked on that, right? Okay, yeah, that too. Sage Grouse Conservation Plan, did I get that one right?
Yep.
Sage Grouse Conservation Plan.
ROP,
D.
yes.
A few harebrained schemes hatched by the regional office that are best left in the dustbins of some forgotten basement.
That's not what I told him.
Or B, C, and D. Yeah, we'll go with B, C, and D.
BC
Yeah.
and
B, C, and D, and other BS.
whatever.
All right. So finally, after much persuasion and arm twisting, Connie Clemson was able to lure Princess Julie away from the glamour of the Enterprise team and back to her true calling as a district wildlife biologist. This time in Grand Junction, where for the past 8 years she's made a lasting impact on the landscapes, habitats, and species she was charged, and some would say destined, to manage.
Are we done?
Notable projects that Princess Julie had her hands in include... Well, gang, this is where you really have to help me out here, because for life, I can't think of anything she's actually done. I mean, seriously.
Seriously?
A guy's imagination can only be stretched so far. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far here today. You know, and quite frankly, in my opinion, maybe we should have just had this at the retirement party 8 years ago. I'm just asking. Sure, I mean, there's been her essential role in establishing, maintaining partnerships across the state, being a leader in city flirt and other restoration projects across the forest, getting moose on the mesa, restoring and sustaining fisheries, ram running fuels reduction and upland habitat management projects, being the most energetic, dynamic, and positive person who makes it a joy to come to work. But besides that, maybe y'all's testimonies can help me think of something she's actually really done.
How about fanning the continuous project?
All right. So at this point, guys, let the roasting begin. It's wide open. Who's got first dibs on Princess Julie? Who's got it? Oh, come on. You've had time. You haven't even lubricated. Let's hear it come.
Oh, I'll do it.
All right, Liz.
Liz has names.
This is my speech. It won't take more than an hour, though.
How can you even read this?
I can't. Well, but anyway, I now work on the Array Ranger District, but I worked with Julie for many years. And even though I'm not on the district anymore, I'm going to miss her in the office. And I'm sure you'll hear it over and over again of what a wonderful person Julie is. Always funny and makes you feel better about coming into work. And really excellent wildlife biologist and a great team player. It's just wonderful. So in your not too distant past, you told me that you dropped your coffee, your Starbucks coffee, when you came in your front door after hearing that you're going to
Be
not
furloughed.
be working this week.
Yeah.
So here's a little something to make up for that.
Oh, thank you. I'll try not to drop this one on my leather couch and carpet.
Also, Julie and I went to Scotland a few years ago, which was great. We were in the Highlands, and just the two of us, and we made a great traveling team. Had a wonderful trip. Julie did all the driving, and straight out driving on the left side of the road with a stick shift.
She was a good navigator.
Oh, the first thing we did had to go through 3 roundabouts. Everything's the wrong way. And I'm like, she got us around just fine. And on our last, the riding the train was always the best because you got to talk to local people. And on our last voyage, there was a young mother with 2 children. And Julie practiced her early grandmother skills. Held this little baby for 2 hours probably. They just had the best time. I have a great picture of Julie with that baby.
Oh, he was so cute. Oh, where is she? Shutterfly.
Yeah, you'll never know what this is.
Oh, wow, thank you. It's a photo album. Oh, thank you very much. Do I have to still sit on this?
Yes, you do. But we'll take that stuff out of your way.
Just do what I think
So this is not a princess, this is a queen.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You are a queen.
Yeah, I forgot to tell Bill that.
Yes. So I thought I'd remind everybody. I'm Cam Schnurr, and we worked together for years, decades.
Yeah, we studied together for the DOW test.
But we worked on the Gunnison Sage Grouse Range-wide Conservation Plan and then also the Greater Sage Grouse Conservation Plan. And together, those two plans took like 8 years.
8 years, yeah. But it was fun.
Yes, and so how she became a queen is during the editing process, she's really into commons. Really into commons. So we called her the Queen of Commons.
I've had a tiara before.
Yes. I just wanted to bring up the fact that you are more than a princess.
More. I'm a comma queen. You need commas.
Well, I've known the Queen for longer than I can almost remember.
He was the first person I went out in the field with.
I was a WCO. For those that don't know, that's Wildlife Conservation Officer. Now it's the District Wildlife Manager, it's the Division of Wildlife. And I was stationed there at the South Rifle District, and Julie came on as an intern. What year was that, about 70?
79.
79. Seemed like it was earlier than that, because it seemed like I've known her my whole
Oh, it was
professional
78.
Yeah, 78.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were thinking, how would you describe Julie in one term? And she just did it. You could ask Julie, say, how you doing today, Julie? And she'll laugh. You could say, how's the weather today, Julie? And she'll laugh. You could say, Julie, my dog got run over on the way to
I
work
would
today.
laugh.
She's laughing. That's what she is. Julie and I worked on several of these big projects that you talked about. We actually started on the Battlement Reservoirs, and I'm glad to hear after about 40 or 50 years, we finally got there. Another big project that I recall was the Battlement Sheep Project. We thought, well, we've both been up there looking at a really hot, dry site. There's this little remnant population of sheep there. We thought, yeah, we could just do something for them, maybe give them a little water. So I was working with Julie, who was the Forest Service, and I was with the State Game and Fish, so I figured everything's coordinated. We got all this planned to do all this stuff. And just about when we were getting ready to go helicopter the tank in there and start doing everything, I got this call from this real territorial district ranger over in Colby. Turns out our project is about 100 yards into the Grand Mesa National Forest, and we were on the White River Forest.
Yeah.
So I just had to turn it back over to Julie, and she had to go up through her chain of command over to the there. We finally got the tank in.
I had left a message on the voicemail.
Was it an email?
I think that was before email.
I thought maybe
Before email.
no. But anyway, it's been a real pleasure working with you, and I hope you enjoy your forever furlough.
Oh no! Oh no!
My name's Keith Giesentanner, and I used to work on the White River with Julie, and I was sure sorry to see her leave because we had a lot of good times together, both out in the field, but a lot of the times, the good times we had weren't during the normal office hours, like the time at the Rio Grande, or Rio, whatever it's called, in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
If you go there, it's a really nice Mexican food restaurant. Well, after Julie and I ate there one night, they started a new law that you could only have 2 margaritas per dinner. You know, trying to help this lady the 2 blocks to her car after her 2 margaritas. And then there was the time at the Macaroni Grill, and Gary, I'm sure you remember this one.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't go into all the discussion, but we were talking about suitable and unsuitable habitat. And if you want to know the rest of the story, you'll have to talk
Doreen Summerlin.
Yeah. But anyway, Julie, it was a real pleasure to work with you the years that I did get to work with you. And I've missed you greatly until I retired, and then I didn't care. So enjoy your retirement as much as I've enjoyed mine.
I thought you were going to tell the story of me arguing with you in a biologist meeting about blah, 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 and then all of a sudden I went, oh, you're right, and sat down.
There is a little more to this. Actually, I made her sign and date that confession that she was wrong. That was 8 or 9 years ago. I still have that document. However, we had a house fire in November, and all our stuff is in a warehouse. My beautiful wife has been looking for that in 270 boxes for a week and hasn't found it yet. But you won't get that.
I was wrong
I
once.
made her sign and date it, so I have proof somewhere.
Oops. Yeah. Hi. What's your name?
This is Gemma.
It's like go see Santa Claus, huh?
Yeah, she said, she asked me, she goes, is that Princess Julie? Well, Julie, I just wanted to stop by with Gemma, and we just want to say congratulations on your retirement. When I first moved back here, I was working out of the Green Valley office, and Julie and Liz and, well, where'd she go to over there? Anyway, Connie and Linda, and it was just a really neat group of folks to work with and be friends with. And so I just want to tell you that you'll be missed, but I know you're going to have a great time with the grandbaby, and as one grandma to another, enjoy yourself.
Thank you. And I will miss everybody too. Uh-oh.
Why, uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
No, I was going to follow up on that Gene Burns story about the guzzler. Oh, I'm Gary Ocean. I worked in Rifle with Julie for 1,000,000 years, and we'll get to the battle of the rest.
We don't have to.
Well, I have a nice thing. But the guzzler that Gene was referring to went on Housetop Mountain.
One of the, yeah.